Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to provide an update on the newly constructed Vatuwaqa Funeral Rites Facility at Toa Street, which was officially opened on Saturday last week. This is a milestone in our work, Madam Speaker, to build a more inclusive, tolerant, respectful and indeed united Fiji. Madam Speaker, under the leadership of our Honourable Prime Minister, the Fiji First Government is the very first government to have delivered such a facility. Although the idea, Madam Speaker, had been raised and debated in Parliament since as early as 1992, almost 26 years ago. Madam Speaker, a former NFP member who actually happens to be related to me, in his maiden speech on 13 July 1992, raised the issue on the need for a proper ghat, or a facility for Hindu religious ceremonies and funeral rites. And I quote, Madam Speaker, from that debate, from the Hansard copies I've got here with me. He said, and I quote, "Whilst we've had burial grounds and crematoriums provided to various faiths, there are no earmarked ghats for religious offerings for the Hindu faith." And again, Madam Speaker, during the debate on the 1993 Appropriation Bill on 18 November 1992, in his contribution to the budget, the same member, or former member of NFP, reiterated the need for a proper, and I quote, "location so that respectable cultural and religious offerings could be made," unquote. But without any progress for 6 years, since the idea, Madam Speaker, was first mooted, Madam Speaker, again in 1998, the same NFP member moved the motion, and the motion read, Madam Speaker, "the need for government to provide a ghat or a pier for Hindu religious ceremonies in waters of the sea or rivers in different centres of Fiji." Madam Speaker, and I'd like to quote actually what was said within that debate. And the Honourable Member said, he said, "It may look a bit odd for me as a follower of the Islamic faith to express interest in a matter which only concerns believers of Hindu faith. But I choose to speak on this subject because of my respect and appreciation of all religions and cultures." In early 1992, this is what I'm quoting from him, "the Hindus were publicly accused of polluting or littering the rivers and sea for disposing of the offerings of flowers, etc. there. In fact, that was the point which gave birth to my real concern in the matter. I was not a member of this House then, but an ordinary citizen of this country. The people of Hindu faith were, however, relieved when the Crown Law Office in those days subsequently issued a statement clarifying that these offerings were clean in spirit and their contents, and it does not constitute littering," Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, a couple other quotes. "After asking for special sites for Hindu death rites is not unreasonable. The public funds are already being used for graveyards. The non-Hindus of this country will undoubtedly show their concern and sympathy to their fellow citizens. Hindus who have chosen to keep silent on this issue until then. Mr. Speaker, sir," this I'm quoting, "I request the government to recognize this cultural aspect of Hindu religion and compliment the effort and the initiative of the Suva City Council in the provision of ghat in the city of Suva, and also consider the establishment of such ghats in other parts of the country so that Hindus can practice their religion in a dignified manner in a respectable place that it deserves," Madam Speaker. And then, Madam Speaker, the motion was referred to the Prime Minister's office to find out under which act it could be dealt with, Madam Speaker. The Prime Minister then, of course, was the current leader of SODELPA then, and is the current leader now, sorry. Madam Speaker, so despite being deliberated at the highest level in Parliament, Madam Speaker, nothing was done by the then Rambuka government, the Chaudhry government, or neither the Garasa government. But, Madam Speaker, the Fiji First Government has delivered this under the decisive leadership of our Honourable Prime Minister. And indeed, Madam Speaker, the members would remember there was actually a budgetary allocation in this budget that was delivered last year, the 2017-2018 budget, Madam Speaker. The irony, of course, is, Madam Speaker, is that while this project was initially the brainchild of NFP back in those days, the current NFP leader, rather than saying anything positive about the rights and the facility, writes in the letters to the editor in the Fiji Sun on Monday this week about the 14th of May talking about the possibilities of NFP Sodelpa coalition. Nothing positive to say about the rights facility, Madam Speaker, but yet he talks about bipartisanship in the same breath, Madam Speaker. All he did was attack the statement that was made at the opening of the funeral rights facility. Madam Speaker, the Vatuwaqa Funeral Rights Facility, Madam Speaker, is not only a first for Fiji, but which may well be the first in the world specifically for this purpose. A project that ensures our Hindu brothers and sisters will take their final journey after death with dignity, in a clean, functional and appropriate space for their friends and loved ones to pay their final respects. The passing of a friend or loved one is a difficult time, Madam Speaker, and that time should not be made more difficult by the hassle, the inconvenience of having to go to great lengths to perform funeral rites and seek the safety and privacy that every grieving family deserves, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, of course, as highlighted earlier on, people of the Christian and Islamic faith, they actually have a grave. They bury people, and that's when the rites are completed. Then they can go off to church or wherever they go and pray, Madam Speaker. However, for our Hindu brothers and sisters, once they cremate, there are other rituals that need to be followed, and this is precisely what the ghats are for. Madam Speaker, we hope this facility will put an end to the unnecessary struggle many families underwent to put their loved ones to rest with dignity. And we hope to see more of this facility throughout Fiji, Madam Speaker, very soon, as has been announced. The funeral rites facility in Vatuwaqa, Madam Speaker, has been under construction for the last 10 months, and preparations included numerous consultations with religious groups to ensure that the physical aspects of this facility are in line with Hindu practices and beliefs. Madam Speaker, the Vatuwaqa funeral rites facility has been completed at a total cost of $919,186.31, undertaken by Peramal Construction Limited. The facility includes amenities such as parking area, cooking facilities, a space where rites can be performed, a walkway and a small jetty which is more than 20 meters in length for the Asti Visarajan rituals, and sanitation facilities which also include showers. This funeral facility provides everything needed for funeral rites, which up till today has taken place on a piecemeal basis at different locations with little to no privacy and other inconveniences. Madam Speaker, even at funeral facilities in countries such as Australia and New Zealand, United States of America and others do accommodate for Hindu rites, but aspects such as the disposal of ash into the sea, performing final rites within a facility and cooking facilities are not available in these facilities. Madam Speaker, this all-in-one funeral facility will provide for all aspects of Hindu funeral rituals. And on behalf of the Honourable Prime Minister, I'd like to express our pride in being able to make this facility a reality for our Hindu community. Madam Speaker, this facility does not belong to the state. It belongs to the Hindus in Fiji, who have long needed a safe and uninterrupted location to see off their loved ones when they have passed on, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the facility was handed over to the Vatuwaqa Funeral Rights Committee to manage and maintain the daily operations of the facility. It is for the first time ever in history that 9 Hindu religious bodies have come together to form this committee. You could colloquially say that these are 9 different denominations, if you like. These religious bodies are the then India Sanmarga Aikya Sangam, or TSI, the Sri Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha Fiji, Sikh Gurdwara Pravadak Committee, Arya Pratinidhi Sabha Fiji, Gujarat Samaj, the Kabir Sad Dharma Pasrahak Mahasabha, Sri Sanatan Dharam Prohit Brahma Mahasabha Fiji, the Gandrava Sangeetalaya, and the Fiji Shavashram Sangha. Excuse my pronunciation if I have not said it correctly. Madam Speaker, the committee has already had its first inaugural meeting, which included the Ministry of Economy, Office of the Solicitor General, and the Ministry of Infrastructure, Transport and Local Government, Madam Speaker. At the meeting, Madam Speaker, the committee elected its first office bearers for the first term. Of course, the presidency for the committee shall hold the office for 1 term, and the role shall be rotated among the 9 religious bodies. We are glad to say, Madam Speaker, that government has actually had a role in facilitating the first ever collaboration between these 9 different Hindu organizations, Madam Speaker. I'd also, Madam Speaker, like to say that at the handover ceremony on Saturday, all the the religious organizations signed the agreement with the state to take over the responsibility for managing the site. The acting director of lands, the licensor, acted on behalf of the state. And for those of you who may want to know, this land is in fact the land that used to be part of the old quarantine site, which is next to the Vatuwaqa cemetery. It's a small piece of land that has been chalked out. Madam Speaker, we have also told the committee that all the facilities must be provided free of charge for anybody that wants to use this particular facility. The committee will run the site at their own cost on a day-to-day basis, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank all others who have contributed towards the construction of the facility in some way, especially the contractor, the Ministry of Agriculture for providing the land to build this facility, Pro Design for providing the signboard, RC Manabai for providing the plaque, Energy Fiji Limited and Water Authority Fiji for installing power and water meters at no cost to the facility, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as highlighted, the Fijian government is planning to build 2 more funeral rites facilities, one in Nosori and the other in Lautoka. We're also looking at Lambasa subsequent to that, and even Nandi. I've already received phone calls from a pundit from Singatoga who are interested, not necessarily perhaps the same elaborate manner in which we build this facility, but something that is conducive to ensuring that they carry out their rights in a dignified manner, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we will of course be working with the different religious organizations and any of the landowners, whether state or Itauke or freehold, to be able to locate these facilities, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in that respect, I'd like to thank everybody for this particular facility. We are currently also, just for the information of Parliament, we've also met with the committee at Rara level in Nosori. They've got a very good committee that runs the grave there and also the graveyard site and also the crematorium. And government is looking at providing them with gas furnaces for the cremation. As we know, Madam Speaker, for cremation purposes, many of the people in particular who live in the central division, they use mangrove or dongo for the cremation. But in the western division, they use the rain tree timber, larger rain trees. So in our also efforts to ensure that we preserve our mangrove sites, that we don't give people the enticement to go and actually illegally cut dongo, create the demand for the resource owners to actually cut the dongo so it can get some money. So if we are able to then ensure that we provide furnaces, there will be of course less pressure or less demand to use this dongo for this particular purpose, Madam Speaker. So we are currently working with them. We've got the CRU team working with them as to how we can fix up the site and provide these furnaces, and we're looking at replicating similarly in other sites within Fiji, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.